All right, now we're going. Let's see. There we go. Okay, Renzi. I'm sitting here behind you. I'm interviewing you. I don't know if the volume's going to be able to hear me, but today's December the 5th, and we're going to title this December the 7th, 1941. I was there. We weren't actually at Pearl Harbor, but you were there. You were around in 1941, and I believe you were 16 years old, right?
Yeah, that would be 16. 1925 to 1941 is 16, huh?
So I'm going to read something to you that I got picked up on that I've heard before. And it's a quote from President Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Right.
He said, "Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Yeah.
The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan."
Right.
So what does that mean to you? Did you hear President Roosevelt
I heard
make that statement? Do you remember him making that
not until
statement?
later I remember hearing about. I don't know how I don't know how I found out about it. But I was working at a theater, and the guy that I was working for said, "Oh, this won't last more than 6 days."
I remember you telling me that. Here, wipe your face. You got a little bit of food on your face. Okay. So my first question is, well, let's go back. Infamy. I always thought infamy meant like for a long time, but then I looked it up in the dictionary today, and it said it means a bad reputation, in disgrace, or with wickedness. So I guess President Roosevelt was saying that was a disgraceful, wicked act that the Japanese.
Yeah, they snuck up on us, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So my first question is, where were you on December the 6th, 1941? What were about, not where exactly were you, but you were living in
Visalia, California.
And you were going to
high school at Visalia not junior college, Visalia Union High School.
Visalia Union High School.
And our football team was known as the Pioneers.
And what were you doing in December, of 1941? What was a day in Visalia like in 1941 in December, before Pearl Harbor? What were you doing?
Going to school, getting up and
where were you living?
And working.
Where were you living?
I was living at 912. No, I was living at. No, I wasn't. Where the heck? I was
Not
living
the address, but you were living with who?
With my parents, yeah.
And Aunt Marion.
Yeah.
Did you have a car?
I was driving my dad's car. He was riding to work on his bicycle.
Okay, so you guys had one family car, and he let you. So you had your driver's license at 16, right?
I must have probably not. I probably was using a bicycle to go to school and going to work. I was working at a theater as an usher.
Okay, when you were in high school.
Yeah, and
why were you working? Because you had to work, or because you wanted to work, or is it just to make extra money, or what?
I just wanted to be able to build up a savings account for myself.
Okay.
Something. What else was I going to do? Besides this.
So you were going to school and you were working.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much you were making per hour?
No, I sure
don't remember.
I have no idea.
Well, if I was my first job, I was making $2.10 an hour. I bet you were making less than $1 an hour or something.
I have no idea.
Money was a lot different back then.
I have no idea.
Okay, so where do you think you were on December the 7th, 1941? Where the day that Pearl Harbor was attacked? Did you hear about it on December the 7th?
I don't remember how I heard about it.
You know?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't. Radio maybe or somehow. I don't know.
And you said you were working at the theater, and the
I was-
manager or the owner of the theater told you what?
He was the manager of this Hyde Theater, I think the name of it, and he boo-hooed it. He says those Japanese, that this war is not going to last more than a week or 6 days, he said.
Mm-hmm.
But how crazy, how he was, he didn't realize that the Japanese had such a naval force of their own and were invading islands.
Sit up in your chair and kind of look.
It
towards
went
me.
it went
There's-
on
that's
and on and
better.
on for a lot of years.
Uh-huh. And do you remember listening to President Roosevelt on the radio?
Probably.
You do. You
Yeah.
probably remember him. Is that how did you get your news in 1941? You get it today via you just got your cell phone on your lap. You get it via the 24-hour news service, and you get it the newspaper. What did you do when you were a kid? Did you have an interest in the news when you were in high school?
I didn't know. No.
How'd you get
I
information?
would hear from it from other people, I guess, what was going on. And
Did you
I don't think I listened to other than listen to the music for music. That's the only time I listened to a radio.
So you didn't sit around and listen to.
There was TV going on at the. No, there wasn't either.
No, there wasn't any TV in 1941.
No,
No.
No, that was after my dad bought a place on later. They had television.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I heard about it, and I guess I wasn't too worried or.
Were you concerned, or you were?
I don't think so. I
You
don't
don't
think
think
it
so?
bothered me that much.
You weren't scared that the United States might go to war. All right, so here's another question for you. In 1941, did you ever hear anything about the war in Europe?
I used to hear about the Germans, what they were doing, but I wasn't paying that much attention to it.
So you weren't concerned that,
No, I
that
wasn't.
the Germans were attacking all those different countries in Europe?
You know, they were taking over some of those smaller. Yeah, and they were.
Hey, I'm over here. Look.
And
look, guys.
It was foreign to me, and I didn't really. I had other things that were not worry about, but to think about.
So
I
in,
was
in 1941, in Visalia, California, you weren't obsessed with, like people are today, with constant news and constant. You were concerned about what you were doing in Visalia, not with the world around you.
The fact that I was in high school and I was trying to play football, and trying to make the football team and play on it, because it was just. I don't know, maybe.
What I'm trying to explain, see if my kids watch this someday, it was a simpler. I'm trying to get you, it was a simpler time, right? It was. You weren't so concerned about everything that you're subject to today. Is that?
You used to worry. Would the newspaper was one way of getting. I don't think I ever had a newscast like they do now.
Okay.
I'm sure they did, but I don't know if I was paying any
Yeah,
attention.
open your eyes and look at me. Okay.
I'm just trying to remember.
All right. Did you think back then, after as you started to learn things about the world and the war, did you think there would be a thing called a world war?
No.
When your dad fought in World War I, was World War I referred to as World War I, or did that come later after World War II? I kind of wondering about that. What did they refer to the first war in Europe?
I don't think I even never talked about it. Never worried about it. My dad wouldn't talk about it. Couldn't ask him any questions. He just didn't.
But the term World War I probably wasn't even. You didn't even know anything about that, right? I mean, it wasn't used back then. Is what I'm trying to get at. Did they say World War I, World War II after the wars? Did they name them? Do you know?
I don't ever remember.
Don't even
No,
remember.
No.
So when you were in the service, did they say this was World War II, or did they just say we're at war? You don't even, like they called the Desert Storm, Desert Shield. They had names for it. That's not what they did.
No.
No, okay. So I'm asking you, did the press refer to World War I and World War II as world wars back then? Probably not. No, okay.
No.
What did you do from 1941 to when you enlisted in 1943? What were you doing?
I was going to junior college, I think, after that. And I had the opportunity to join this V12 program, and I turned them down until I finally just somehow, me and 2 or 3 other guys decided, well, gee, they were going to offer and let us go to school. So we had to go all the way to San Francisco to a Navy office someplace up there and get into it. Could have done it when they came to Visalia. And I was in junior college at the time.
Did you have any sense of patriotism to enlist, or was it all?
I knew I probably would get. I think that was probably the reason I went into this B-12, because I didn't know if I was going to get drafted. I remember I was listed as A1, I think, but I might have been too young. I don't know.
So that was a way to pick your destiny in the military rather than get drafted.
I would have been drafted, yeah, and into the Army.
Uh-huh.
And I decided, so I had the opportunity to get into the Navy, and I first of all I turned it down, and then I decided that that would be the best thing to do.
Okay.
And
back when you were growing up, in around 1941, what did you watch for, or what took up your time for, like sports, entertainment? I don't think in 1941 there was a National Football League, but there was baseball, right?
Oh yeah, I was a big baseball fan. Oh yeah.
All right, after a short break, we're back. So I asked you about sports and what you followed and what you were doing when you were a kid, and you started talking about baseball.
Evidently, I was able to listen to it on the radio, and of course, everybody was everything was east of, maybe St. Louis and Cincinnati had teams, but nothing that far west. And I really followed it closely. In fact, I got a magazine that came out of St. Louis, and I can't remember the name of it, but I kept up with names, and like Dizzy Dean and Joe DiMaggio. He came to Visalia when he held out for more money, and he came to Visalia and kind of played with some team that was, I don't know who they were, but he was there. And in fact, I got a picture of him I took, and I screwed around with it, and I wrote stuff on it. If I never would have written something on it, it would have probably been worth something. But he came to Visalia.
Wow, you had a picture of Joe DiMaggio. That's pretty cool.
And I don't know where it is. I screwed it up. I took a picture, but I used to listen to it on the radio, and I was interested in as far as school was concerned, I got through it. I had some great teachers.
But the war had started December 7th, 1941. You still had to go finish high school.
Yeah.
And you went into junior college.
Yeah.
And you weren't old enough to be drafted yet. I guess the draft age was what, 18?
Evidently, yeah.
And then once you turned 18, you had a chance to get in the V12 program. You turned it down. You came to your senses. You took it up.
I didn't want to get drafted and go into the Army.
All right. So now here we go. What did you look forward to weekly living in Visalia when you were about a teenager? Was there something that every week you look forward to? Was there something that, like, oh gosh, it's coming up on Friday night or Saturday night or?
Oh yeah, as far as high school was concerned, we used to have dances on the weekend on Friday night.
Uh-huh.
And I got involved in I don't think I was ever a president of the senior class. I might have been. I was part of the group that did
the student body.
Huh?
The student body.
Yeah. And I remember, and I was worried about it, and we would hired a band to come and play at one of the things, and they were from Hanford, and I was so scared they never was going to show up, but they did show up, and
I remember reading that in your yearbook, how everybody praised you on that dance that you organized.
yeah,
I don't think you remember you weren't the president of the senior class. We found out that doctor was the guy who became a doctor.
Williams, yeah,
Yeah, but you were the president of maybe your junior class,
or something, yeah.
And you were involved in the.
I tried to run for the class president, if they had such a thing, but I didn't make it. I remember talking to doing a thing in front of the students saying, "Oh, maybe we could have lunchtime have a short movie or something," but that didn't go very big.
Okay, so what was your favorite or your best memory of living in Visalia? From when you started living there, when you can remember, up until you moved?
I didn't do a heck of a. Somehow I got involved in Boy Scouts, and I didn't know what the heck. I remember taking a class, taking. You would go from in stages, huh? And had something coming. I was supposed to get second class. I don't know how. I don't remember too much about Boy Scouts, and I never did get it. And I used to stand out in front of my house thinking, well, some guy's going to be coming by in a car and he's going to bring it to me. Well, that was stupid. But finally, after going to a meeting, I got whatever I had coming to me. You understand Boy Scouts enough to know that you go from different stages until you get to be an Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
And I used that book. I had a book. It was about that thick. And I used to read that thing over and over and over again. And going to movies when I was younger, on Saturday, it was a thrill. God, that was exciting. Because they would end up, the movie would end up in some dramatic thing happening, and you couldn't find out until the next week, until you got there to see what happened.
Oh, it would carry over.
Carry it over, yeah.
So they'd put a hook. They get you to come back.
Yeah, right. But that's one thing and then my mother. I didn't know. The rest of her family was not religious, but she was. She got into the Catholic Daughters, and she was. And it got me to go to the Catholic elementary school. They had a Catholic school there, and I got involved in religion and being an altar boy, and I don't know. That was part of my life, was learning the Latin, and we used to do Mass in Latin, and they had nuns there. That they were really nuns. They were dressed in their, how they were. They were Notre Dame nuns.
The habit.
Habit.
Black and white.
And they were stationed up in near San Francisco or in the Bay Area or someplace, and they were coming back to Visalia to teach, and there was an accident, and I think a couple of them I don't remember, but so I used to run errands for them. They'd call a grocery store, and I'd go down and I'd get them and put them somehow I'd carry them in my bicycle, and I did stuff for them, and I was involved with a priest, and I played baseball in a lot next door out there until it got dark, and I don't know, we were just busy.
You had a lot of friends?
Ones that I went to grammar school with, yeah. And then I met some other guys later, and I went out for football, and I never was very good, but maybe I was the only one that didn't do things out of ordinary. I don't know. So I was.
So living in Visalia in 1941 to 1943 was a nice time in your life, even though the war had started, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't have a girlfriend or anything.
Were were you apprehensive or scared to go into the military?
You know, I didn't even think about it, Mike. I don't think.
You just went.
I didn't want to get drafted. I didn't want that idea. I don't know. I just
Were you
didn't.
homesick when you got to USC? Going from a small town to Los Angeles, California?
Well, I learned a lot, Mike. I didn't know anything. Some things I just didn't know about. I, I didn't realize that there was so much animosity against Jews. I didn't know anything about what a gay person was. I didn't know any of that stuff.
And when you got to Los Angeles, you
I
were
learned.
exposed to a lot of different people. Yeah.
Oh God! I was
All
just.
right, you don't have to go into it, but it was just different, right?
I was naive, yeah.
Right. Because you came from a small town.
And I just, yeah.
Yep. Small town America, pretty awesome back then, I bet.
Yeah.
Was the air quality in Visalia? Could you see the mountains all the time when you lived in Visalia when
I
you were a
think
kid?
so. Yeah, I remember seeing Mount Whitney all the time. We could see Mount Whitney from Visalia.
And some days today, you look out and you can't. Well, it's foggy today. But I'm talking on a summer day.
The only time we ever had a problem with that is because of they had citrus, and they used to run those smudge spots to keep it warm, and that
Make
that
it
would
smog, huh?
yeah, that would be. But other than that, the air quality was good. Yeah.
And life was good in Visalia, and food was good, and
Oh yeah, my parents were. I don't know how my dad did it, but he worked hard. He evidently made enough money so that my they could buy me nice clothes, and I never did have a bicycle though. I wanted a bicycle real bad, and I just finally my dad was able to get one, and the dang thing was made in Japan. And I used to take that thing and I would ride around round and round and round to the yard, the house. And he had a basement, and he made wine and used to keep stuff down in the basement where it was cooler, and it was nice. It was good, but I never did got away too much, other than the things that we did at school, at the Catholic school. But it seemed to me like it was involved more in the religious part of it. I don't know. Studied the catechism, boy, the Baltimore Catechism.
And then when World War II was over, when we talked about your time at World War II, you came back and you went back to USC.
Yeah.
You got your pharmacy degree in 1949.
Yeah.
And then And then you went to work.
I got a job in a town called Woodlake.
Woodlake. Was that your first job?
My first job as a pharmacist.
And then you went to Michener's Pharmacy in Visalia?
I don't think I ever worked for Mr. Mixner.
Oh, who did you go? Main Street? What was
I went to a place called Main Drug, yeah.
And then from Main Drug, did you come to El Cajon?
Yeah, Mr. Dick Bennett talked to me, said they needed a pharmacist.
And then your life changed. Visalia was in the rearview mirror. It was to Bakersfield. Right?
Things were so much different, Mike. I walked into that Haberfeld building, and they had this thing up on the wall where it was like a telephone thing, and they had phones going up to the doctors upstairs, and they'd call down and call other orders in. Hell, I never was subjected to anything like that. But
did you do a lot of compounding back then, making your own medicine?
Not a lot, but we did. Yeah, we used to mix stuff and compound. Yeah, we sure did. It was the days of roots and rhizomes. Well, the antibiotics came about, sulfas specifically, because that's what my friend Dick Bennett was in the Army, and his eyes gave him trouble, and they used to drop his eyes, the sulfa, and it ruined him. The sulfa, he was allergic to him or something. Anyway, I learned a lot moving from Visalia to Bakersfield. I sure did. I learned a lot scientifically and life. There's things that I didn't know about. I was just so damn dumb and naive.
Well, that's how you learn. I learned a lot too over the years by doing different things. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, that was great because on December the 7th, 1941 to December the 7th, 2021 is 80 years since Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
You're 96 years old right now. Your mind is 110%. Your body's 100. You're in better health than I am, which is
I wouldn't say
You're
that.
in great health, and you're a great guy.
I got some real good help.
We went to church today, and later on today we're going to have some what? What are we going to cook? Your chicken and my chicken.
Yep.
Well, they used to say 2 chickens in every pot.
There you go. We didn't get. You got potatoes?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
You want potatoes today?
No, I had some in my
I've got some.
refrigerator.
Are we done?
I hope I was helpful. I just don't remember. The thing I enjoyed about Vice City was being able to get in a car, and we used to drag Main Street. Oh gosh, and I didn't have a girlfriend, but I did know one time I had a ring, my dad or something, and I gave this ring to this girl. She was and I don't know. That didn't last. I took her to the prom.
Was that the girl that called you? You were swell.
I don't know.
I can't remember her name. It's in your yearbook.
Oh yeah, that was somebody else.
Oh.
Yeah.
You were quite the ladies' man back then.
I don't know what, but I went and took her to and I can remember going to pick her up. Her dad was so goddamn worried about me. I could see he was concerned, and Jesus
You
God.
were Suave Renzi back then. You're full-blooded Italian stallion, huh?
And she was Portuguese. What's this? This is the.
Letitia?
I know it's Lori.
All right.
Hi, Lori. Good morning.
Hi, Dad.
Well, I got you on the speaker. Mike and I are here doing a video.
I'm going home to cook chicken.
Can I drop off the coffee cake to him right now?
I'll come and get it later today, Lori. Just be patient, okay? I'll come and get it later today.
Michael, I got it in the car. I'm taking James. I'll just drive it out to your house and put it at your front door. It's not a problem. My God.
I didn't know you had it in the car. Just bring it by.
Yeah, I have it. Okay.
Bring it by.
Thank you.
The Coffee Cake 2021. Oh my God. Her and her coffee cake. My God, she wants to get that coffee cake. I appreciate it, but the Coffee Cake 2021. All right. Ciao.
What is it she brought me yesterday?
I don't know. But it's hotter than Jehoshaphat's in here. Let's turn the football game on.
What are the things that Kay Antoine Giovanni used to bring your mother, and she'd bake those
Persimmons.
persimmons? Yeah.
Well, I sure like your house. It's all lit up. You got your Christmas tree in the back. We got our studio lights on.
I'm not doing, and I'm not prepared for Christmas. I don't have a.
Remember, all I want is something over $1,000 but under $2,000, whatever it is. All right, my friend. Bye. Oh, thank you for doing the interview. You're a World War II survivor.
I didn't remember.
Great veteran.
I don't remember too much about it, and I didn't think I was too damn concerned about the thing. I was shocked that the Japanese were able to do what they did, and I had I think I really lucked out though. I lucked out in many ways. The atom bomb saved me from going. I'm sure we were. Now that I think about it, with all that ammunition, we were destined to go and invade Japan, and who knows what would have happened then.
Yep.
I don't know.
Your ship might have gotten blown out of the water.
Yeah.
So you're lucky. All right, let me turn this off.
Okay.
We'll turn the football game on.
Okay, Mike.
So we're going back in time to 1941, which is probably a more beautiful time of our life, and now we're going forward. The phone's ringing. See, nobody can get away from anybody. That's Joe right now. I love Joe, but I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna call him later. And all right, we gotta. You know what I did this weekend? I kind of got offline. I left all my computer shit at home. I had to take my phone with me, but it was nice. Bye.
Hey,
Love you.
that stuff that you were looking for, as far as Vaughn's is concerned, how did you get? How does that come?
It's the Vaughn's app. You have it on your phone.
It's a Vaughn's app. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got one of those. Yeah.
All right.
I think I do.
It's called Just For You.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. Say goodbye.
Oh, hey, yeah, thanks a lot I didn't know a heck of a lot, but I remember.
How can it be any hotter in here? My God, the heater's on. All right. Bye.
Oh, I didn't.